great occasion for me. I never think in terms of being on the bottom of the barrel. When I came to Dallas in 1925, I worked in this hotel. I was a bell maid.
Yeah, I'm not a black woman. So we'll have to get that straight, too. I resent being called a black because it has no meaning. There are a lot of young people who enjoy the rhetoric, but then I am not a black in color, and I don't know how to think black. And this is what they accuse me of being. I am an American citizen. I happen to be of a darker hue than some other Americans, but then my first anger came, I guess, from my childhood bringing up. I lived there in Austin, where I went to the Capitol for my civic classes. I went there and listened to the legislature, and I heard the rhetoric that was demeaning to me and so forth. And of course, my father was a very militant man, when my grandfather was militant, and my grandfather was not an educated man, but he had a lot of dignity. And his father, who was sold from a wife and 10 children into Mississippi, where they bred him with a 13-year-old. And he said, "You can kill me, but don't hit me." And I have a part of that feeling now. Don't take anything away from me that is mine. The Constitution of this country has provided for me certain rights. And these rights I want. I want the responsibility along with the privilege. And that is the thing that prompted me to get out. And when I learned that these things had been denied millions of our people, then I wanted to get out and do something about it. Taking these parts that you said they sell and leave that hulk of a car sitting on the city property on the parkway.
That there should be additional areas in the zoning ordinance to allow by an SUP. That is, I was trying to...
You haven't missed a thing you haven't had. I use that terminology quite a bit. I didn't know what it was to go into a restaurant or a cafe or somewhere and sit down and eat a meal. And I refused to go to a back door and take it over the garbage can. The resentment was building up in me as a young woman. I refused to go into a Jim Crow railroad station paying the same fare that everybody else paid and sitting aside with no fire. I'd walk outside first because, see, for 11 years I stayed on the field for NAACP, trying to encourage and to inform people on what their rights were, and then to join an organization that has their real reputation for getting to the courts and straightening out some of these inequities. And then the courts is what we believe in. We believe in the constitutional provisions and to go through the courts. And so this is what I've spent my life doing. I've been with the NAACP now about 35, nearly 40 years. In 1946, I became a poll tax collector, and I collected poll tax each year until we abandoned that practice. In 1952, I became precinct chairman in this precinct, and I served for 23 years as precinct chairman out here. The people in this community, they have a lot of faith in my ability and my determination to know what's going on and things of that sort. And of course, from a national standpoint, having had 4 presidential invitations from presidents of the United States, I think that's an accomplishment. Well, now I've gotten one from Carter for attend the inauguration, which he didn't send a check, and I won't be going that one. But it has been fascinating to see the victories that we've had. I figured that if I can do it, that my friend here next door can do it. And this is what I'm interested in. You know about my little namesake, Nita. She follows me everywhere I go. I don't want ever to find a stumbling block in her way. And as I said to her, don't kick it, go around it, and get to the sources by which it can be removed. So these are great strides I know that we've made. And there's a lot of gains have been experienced, but then until every bit of racial prejudice has disappeared in this country, I won't be satisfied.